Hello and welcome to this shadow work series where I'm gonna show you how to heal your childhood trauma by doing shadow work and including spirituality. I am myself a survivor of childhood sexual violence, narcissistic abuse, and bullying. And in my life, I suffered immensely from CPTSD, complex post-traumatic disorder. I had anything you can name: depression, identity crisis, inner division, emotional pain, emotional instability, avoidance, etc., etc., etc. And over the last 5 years, I have dedicated my life to healing after having experienced a spiritual awakening. And I've been able to heal most of my CPTSD. And now I'm helping others do the same and really recover from their difficult life experiences. So in this first video, I'm going to explain the basics, the fundamentals of shadow work. What is shadow work? What is a shadow? Why do we develop shadows? How to identify a shadow? This will be the main theme of the video. So first and foremost, we all have shadows. They are a normal part of the human life. So what is a shadow? A shadow is an aspect of yourself, your psychological self, that is disowned. And why is it disowned? Simply because as we develop as kids, as we grow, we go through different kinds of experiences. And some of them are very difficult to handle. As adults, it might not seem like it, but as an infant, as a kid, the most simple things can sometimes be quite traumatizing. So to give you a very clear example, if as a kid you didn't receive enough love, enough affection, enough support, which is very common, which I think is one of the most common shadows, you will start to develop points of views, beliefs about what reality is and how it works, as well as who you are and who are other people. You will start shaping your inner world based on these experiences. So if we go deeper into the example, let's say I am a kid and I ask my mom to help me with something, and she's in a bad state, a bad mood, and she replies harshly, "No, I'm not going to help you. Go back to your room." When the kid goes through this experience, he has to cope with the intensity of the emotional response from his mom. So what he's going to do is that he's going to suppress the part of himself that asks for help. Because in this moment, asking for help is dangerous. It receives negative feedback. It's pushed away. So the kid will learn that this is not okay. It shouldn't be here. And he's going to suppress the personality aspect of himself that asks for help, as well as the emotions when it comes to asking for help. If you start feeling anger at your mother because she doesn't want to help you, you're going to start to suppress also the anger, because in that moment, the anger is not received well. You're alone with your anger. So you're going to start to think it shouldn't be here. And so you suppress the anger. And what happens is that not only you cannot ask for help, but you get angry at people who don't want to help you. You're living again the experience. But the thing is that you're not aware that the problem is not other people. The problem is that you have a shadow, you have a blockage. And this is why it's a struggle. So you start projecting that I cannot because of them, right? Your anger is not validated. So if your mother would have said, "Oh, I see that you're angry. I'm sorry. It's not what I meant. I care about you needing help, but right now I'm not able." If she would have said it, in a healthy way, then the anger would have not been suppressed. It would have been validated. Your boundary would have been validated. That it's not okay to be pushed away when we ask for something, right? But in that case, where your mother doesn't do this, what's going to happen is going to start judging the anger and suppressing it and thinking that the anger is not valid. It shouldn't be here. So you're going to dismiss and reject the anger. So that's to explain the emotional part of it, right? And maybe there's also sadness or disgust. There can be other emotions that are suppressed. And it's going to start creating beliefs about what reality is. For example, in this case, in reality, in life, asking for help is dangerous. Asking for help is not possible. I cannot ask for help. This kind of beliefs. And what happens with the personality? Well, it's going to be suppressed in the shadow, which means it's not disappearing. It's still there, but it will get unseen. So what's going to happen as a result? We're going to have an adult that will never be able to ask for help. Because, remember, it's dangerous. So don't do it. That's what the brain says. That's what the shadow says. Don't do it. Don't ask for help, because otherwise you're going to have to feel me. You're going to have to remember what you suppressed. So that's how the mind is trying to cope with the experience. So that's how shadows are formed. So now that we know what is a shadow and how shadow work looks like on a very foundational level, now I want to bring also, how do we know that we have a shadow? How do I know? Where is my shadow? How do I know that I have it in this moment? Well, you know that you have a shadow if something is reacting within you, if there's a reaction. Whether it's a very fiery reaction, like, I don't want this, I hate this situation, I don't like it. Or more like a sense of deflation, like, I'm not good enough, this is too hard to handle, I cannot make it. Right? So in both cases, there's a reaction there to a life situation or about your own self. That's when you know you have a shadow. When there's something that is not okay, like there's a problem here. And then these shadows are sabotaging our life. Not because they are bad, not because they are wrong, but simply because they have been pushed away. And so they're going to try to come back. But as adults, it feels unsafe to welcome these parts of us. So what do? We often keep it suppressed as much as we can. Do not feel this, right? Have you ever experienced this? Because I did a lot. So now as an adult, you're carrying all of these kind of blockages that are, sabotaging your life, sabotaging what you want, because you may want to ask for help, but you can't. You're blocked. It's too scary, right? So what is shadow work then, now that we know what is a shadow? Shadow work is just the process of becoming aware of what has been suppressed and reintegrating it, reclaiming it within our own psyche to allow it to function again. So as we do this, some things can come up, right? As we become aware of what we were not aware of, we can start feeling these emotions again. We can start having psychological confusions. And that's where we need some support always to integrate them. Okay, that's why it's very hard also to do it on our own, because of our own blind spots, and we don't know what to do with these emotions. That's why when we work together, that's what I offer, right, with people. I can hold space for you so that you can experience these emotions and validate them again and recover your suppressed self. Okay, so that will be all for the first video. If you keep on watching these videos, we'll try to go step by step into understanding shadow work, and I'll give you a ton of tools and practices so that you can start doing it on your own and try it out. And also so that you can have more clarity. So if that made sense to you, please maybe like the video or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.